Welcome to episode 5 of Brian's Blunders, and just as a recap, what I'm doing in these videos is sharing mistakes that I made in my 4-year career of working, where I did things that either hurt my career, hurt my relationship with others, or hurt the business I was working for at the time. So again, this is episode 5, and the title of this one is "Should Have Gotten It Right in Writing." So in the mid 2000s, as I was trying to grow specialty cables at AFL, it was got to the point, I can't remember exactly which year, but a few years in, I got it up to about $6 to $7 million a year and very profitable, about 50% EBITDA, so looking good. And I was getting my yearly increases were 2 or 3%. Kind of like what everybody else was doing. A little disappointing because I felt I was materially impacting the company in a positive way, but wasn't being compensated properly. So I sat down with my boss at the time and said, "Hey, this seems a little odd, 2 or 3%." And he said, "Oh, well, it's just the way it is." And he said, "But you get to 10 million in revenue, then we can look at doing something." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." So put that note down, and over the following couple of years, he goes into another role at AFL and gets replaced, and I hit 10 million, and the profitability is still very good. So I go to my new boss and say, "Hey, had this conversation with my previous guy. I'm over 10 million, things are looking good, business is growing nicely. How does this work?" And he said, "Well, it doesn't. The only way to get a promotion is if you're general manager and you have profit and loss capability." And it's like, okay, so I'm gonna just continue to get 2 to 3% increases per year. And my mistake wasn't all that. The blunder was that I didn't get the original commitment in writing. I should have done that, because that would have either solidified the offer or the commitment, or it would have exposed it for what it really was, which was just my boss didn't want to talk about it and thought he could put me off for a few years. So that was a little disappointing. And I think the real reason why I wasn't being compensated for what I felt I was contributing to the company was the president of the company was never ever going to give me anything more than I was getting. My view was, the way he looked at it, is my wife had a good job in the area. I'd been there for a really long time. I was a hard worker. I was a company man. I was dedicated. I did all the right things, and I was not a threat of leaving. So a bit disappointing. So I kind of didn't know what to do, but just continued to plow forward. Well, move forward to 2014. In that year, got the business up to $23 million in sales, still very, very profitable, going well. But late that year, when I finally got a call from FiberCore offering me a position. Well, I jumped at it, of course, and kind of worked out at the end. But the mistake was I should have gotten the commitment in writing, brought things to the surface, and I don't know what would have happened if I would have done that and would have realized, no, they're not going to give me anything. Maybe it would have led to it actually getting a bonus of some sort, based on performance in my compensation. But one of the things that happened right before I left AFL is I had an exit interview with the president of the company. And the conversation really confirmed what I thought. Is he made the comment, he said, "I expected you to leave several years ago to get paid more money." Which what I get out of that is I was never ever going to pay you any more than we were, despite what you were bringing in for the company. Rather disappointing. Now, the people at AFL, the people I worked with directly, the people that were part of Specialty Cables, the people that were part of the other cable groups, the engineers, the quality people, the supply chain people. They're great. Always just wonderful people, hardworking, do the right thing. But everything starts at the top, and that was not great. But that's since been resolved. And anyway, so that was my blunder. I hope you learned something for it. By the way, so today I'm at Shoeless Brewery. I'm having an IPA called Quiet Riot. It's only a half beer because it's 9.1% and it's 11 in the morning. That's even for me, that's a little rough. But great beer, by the way. So it's in Greenville, South Carolina, as I mentioned. So they also sell beer supplies here. I've gotten that before. Just a little side note. On one beer that I brewed very recently, relatively recently, they gave me the ingredients, but they recommended a different yeast. And this recipe was supposed to come out to about 10%, 11% alcohol content. It came out at 16.5%. Very, very good beer, by the way. And so these folks know what they're doing. And if you want to get beer supplies, this is the place to do it. Anyway, again, any comments you have, put them in the notes below. And I may or may not respond because, again, I'm retired and I do whatever the hell I want. So take care.